guys, how's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope you're excited. Meal prep is a love yourself later activity. You're gonna love yourself later when you have 3 meals ready, prepped, good to go, and it's gonna remove so much stress from your week. So let's get started, shall we? On the meal plan this week, we have Caribbean rice bowls, cashew chicken, and chicken apple cheddar sandwiches. I'm trying to get that all out in a mouthful. If you don't have your prep list yet, I want you to check the description in this video. You'll find a link that's going to bring you to the prep list, and the featured week is always free. So let's get going, shall we? Got 3 varying levels of prep depending on your level of motivation. So if you are guns a-blazing, go right to level 3 and plan on it. If you just get a little bit of time and you want to get a little bit ahead, go for level 1. However, if you want to get the time to table results that you see in the plan itself, you're going to want to go all the way with me to level 3. We're actually going to start with some of the items in level 3 because level 3 is stuff that does itself while we're doing other things, and that's where the magic just happens. Okay? So, gonna do a few things. I am going to cook a couple chicken breasts. I am going to make hard-boiled eggs, and I'm gonna cook rice. Those things can all happen at the same time, and it's not going to bother me a little. It's actually gonna be really good. Okay, so I'm going to start, where shall I start? I'm gonna start with the eggs, because I'm gonna do my eggs just in the pressure cooker. It's easy, it's hands off. They're perfect every time, and you know what? They actually peel a lot easier. Now, you can cook yours in any way that you want to. There we go. So I do have a cup of water in there. Always want to have a cup of water with your pressure cooker. Next, let's get going. Where shall we go? Where shall we go? I'm gonna put the rice in. That'll be easy. You have options for your rice. You can make coconut rice this week, or you can make regular rice this week, or you can make some of both and just make it on the days of as well. There are options, especially if you were doing this for just 1 or 2 people. You're gonna wanna go all or nothing on either coconut or regular. And the reason for that is, I mean, you don't have to, you can do your own thing. To make a coconut rice, you're gonna be using a full can of coconut milk for 2 cups of rice. So if you plan on using regular rice for your cashew chicken and coconut rice for your Caribbean rice bowl, you're gonna either end up with half a can of coconut milk, or you're gonna end up with, once upon a time I had a measuring cup in front of me. There it is. Either you're gonna have half a can of coconut milk or an abundance of rice. So with that in mind, decide whether you're going to do coconut rice or whether you're going to do regular rice. And if you are cooking for more people, less worries about it, because you know what, you can always do a lot of rice. So I'm doing my rice in the microwave, just using a microwave cooker. The little things in life that save your life. This is one for me. Man, I did hash browns in this yesterday. They were awesome. I put them in the microwave, like I cut them into hash browns, put them in the microwave for 10 minutes, and put them in the air fryer for 10-15 minutes. Whew, they were good. I might do that again today. Okay. Now I'm gonna cook my chicken breasts. I am just gonna cook them in my saute pan there. I have 4 left in there. I am going to butterfly my chicken, and I like to butterfly my chicken before cooking it because it just makes it faster. It's just a personal preference. I like cooking it that way. I find sometimes when I'm cooking chicken in a full breast instead, that what I end up doing is drying it up or burning it before I cook the whole thing. Yes, I realize this is a me problem, but if it is also a you problem, then I'd invite you to join me in this. I do use a close and cut which is just, you put your chicken in there, cut, and it cuts it in 2 even slices. Because I am just really, really, really clumsy, guys. There's no other way for it. I am just a clumsy person. And left to my own devices to butterfly something, I'm just hurting myself. It is just a thing. So I am actually going to cook a little more chicken as well, just doing some extra prep for myself for this week. If that's you too, awesome. Let's get it done, shall we? Everything we do now is less stuff we got to do this week. So I do have my oven heating, or my pan, my saute pan is heating up over there. Salt all these. There's never a time when I don't want salt on something. If there's a question of whether there's salt or no salt, I want salt. There we go. So I got my chicken on, get some stuff going. I'm going to give my hands a quick wash just in case I touch something funky. There we go. So all the things are starting and doing their thing. So I'm going to start with level 1 now. Okay? So level 1 is working on our veggie prep, really. Like, to put it very simply, that's what we're doing. We're just prepping our veggies, getting them ready. So I'm going to slice up a couple shallots. If you wanted to slice some red onion instead of shallots, you could do that. I like shallots. I like their, they feel like they're a little bit milder than some onion, but also add a great flavor. And I don't have to cook them as much. Like, they're actually quite delightful even if they're not cooked on salads and things like that. So I am personally a shallot fan. Choppy. So I'm using a food chopper to chop it up real small. You could use a food processor, you could use a knife. whatever you do, chop them. There we go, good to go. Ooh, golly. Oh, we kept them running. Oh, man, those shallots took some bite. So, I'm gonna slice some peppers, I'm gonna chunk some peppers. So I'm gonna slice one, chunk two. If you wanna do it more, do it more. This is always just going to be a guide. It's not a rule of law by any stretch of the imagination. This is intended to help with a little bit of that decision fatigue that we have. Like, if your day looks anything like mine, it is go, 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 go from morning till night, and by the time supper rolls around, I'm tired. I'm over it, and that's why I do this. That is exactly why I do this, is because I want to be able to share some of the relief I get from meal planning with you. And why do we all have to decide what's for dinner all of the time, right? Like we can help each other from time to time. That's what this is. This is an assist. So, just gonna chunk a couple peppers. You can chunk them as big or small as you want them to be. Whatever chunking a pepperdom means to you, go for it. I'm excited for cashew chicken this week, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of my favorite things. And I love that it doesn't take long to make it at home either. Like, you don't have to be a pro cook, you don't have to be any of the things. It's just pretty easy to throw together. Who needs takeout? I mean, I'd love to have more takeout, but my biggest deterrent, honestly, for takeout is the risk of cross-contamination. There's always that risk of cross-contamination, and it's way worse if I'm not eating in my own kitchen. If I'm eating in another kitchen, and say we're at a restaurant, the restaurant's busy, like, are they taking all the precautions? It's just cost of eating out aside. It is just, there's more peace needing in my own kitchen, and if the food can be just as good, I mean, really, guys, so like, we look at what we're getting when we go out somewhere. You don't have to be the best chef in the world to recreate a lot of the stuff that you're getting somewhere. You either need right recipe or the right product or something, but you don't need to be a culinary genius. So just peeling and thin slicing a couple of carrots here. Something that helps with cutting cutting vegetables is making sure that you have a sharp knife. A sharp knife, you're actually way less likely to cut yourself with. And the reason for that is if your knife is not sharp, you're going to be sawing it kind of back and forth, exerting extra pressure you don't need in order for it to go through. If you have a very sharp knife, it's going to cut through and go through. Dude, I'm a poet. But it is like, it's a legit thing. Plus, if you're klutzy and end up cutting yourself anyway, I do feel like it actually ends up healing up better if you have a really sharp knife too. So there's a positive. Follow me for more kitchen advice. Oh dear. Okay, so I did want to slice those up thin because the thinner I cut them, the quicker they're going to cook, and that's good. And I'm just storing those in some water so they don't go funky, because nobody wants that. Okay, let's see, what are we going to do next? I'm going to mince up a couple cloves of garlic. You can mince garlic in advance, and then you can just store it in a little bit of oil. It's the exact same as when you buy yourself minced garlic at the store. And if you wanted to do a shortcut, you could just buy yourself minced garlic at the store. Or mince your own, throw it in some oil, call it a day. Whatever works best for you, works best for you. And you know what? We're all picking shortcuts. We're all going to pick some shortcuts of some sort, whether it's a sauce that you are not making yourself, or garlic you're not mincing yourself, or cheese that you're buying already sliced. These are all fine things. Generally, the less shortcuts you use, the less ingredients you end up having, the less processed your food ends up being, and you end up saving money in the long run. But it's a balancing act, right? Like, you don't want to sacrifice your sanity for some, garlic, right? Or some honey mustard sauce, whatever. Like, but depending on your allergies and sensitivities and dietary restrictions, you might end up making a lot of stuff at home. That's okay too. That is 100% the reason why I don't end up taking a lot of the shortcuts is because I can't. So I'm using a garlic prep tool. This will mince my garlic for me, and then I can just store it in a little container that it comes with. Like, it just falls into the bottom. Kind of the easiest way to mince garlic ever. So if you want an easy way to mince garlic prep tool. It's adorable. It looks like a little mini laundry machine. And man, the thing's practical. So minced my garlic right there, and then I'm just going to throw some oil on top of that. And that's just going to keep the garlic from oxidizing. So basically, just keeps it fresher. So I'm just gonna smush it down in there just like that, and voila, there's my garlic. I'm just gonna store it in the fridge just like that in the same container and call it a day. Don't store that container if you want to use that container again throughout the week, but gonna check my chicken, see how we're doing. Alright, I'm gonna grab a container for that. Oops. Let's take away those. Done. potatoes are all extremely close to being done, so that's awesome. I set a timer for my rice. It's just gonna sit in the microwave for another 5 minutes. I'm just gonna, chop up some lettuce while we're going. We don't need much lettuce. Need is a strong word. I'm gonna find a way to use the rest of my lettuce. It's gonna end up being used on salads throughout the week, so I'm just gonna prep the whole thing now. If you have a smaller container of lettuce or some lettuce left over from, whatever, use that. It is all good. There are no awards for this. Well, I guess there are kind of awards. The award is that you get your stuff prepped, and that's lovely. So I guess it's not technically an award, but it feels like one. Kind of even better. Chop or tear or do whatever you want with your lettuce. Do whatever you see fit. And you really can use any kind of lettuce you want. I was craving like that crisp freshness from Iceberg this week, but like I'm always changing up what lettuce I'm using. Like I get a hankering for like arugula sometimes. Crave the spicy lettuce, And if you want to skip the lettuce, you can do that too. Lettuce is done, and so is level 1. So if level 1 is all you have in you, then you rocked it. You did amazing. You did so good. I'm super proud of you, and you're going to love yourself this week. Done and done. Yeah, everything's all coming together now, isn't it? See, it's kind of nice. Like that stuff just does itself while we're doing the other things. I'm just going to drain this can of pineapple juice. Usually I'd say you could use fresh or you could use canned, but this week in particular, we are using the pineapple juice that's in your can to make a sauce. So this is one where the shortcut actually is just going to be all around awesome. I'll just eat that. Oh, it's good. Okay, sorry. Eggs are done. I don't want them to overcook. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these out and I'm just going to put them in some cold water immediately. And then I don't have to worry about them overheating. So. There. So, get my pineapple juice drained. Now I'm going to make the sauce for my rice bowl. So, just gonna throw some honey in here. Now, I do have included in my directions, always get local honey if you can. And that's one thing that I am quite firm on. I do not like buying honey or something like that at Costco. And it's not because the big container is going to get really hard or something like that, which it might. It's because if you get local honey, then you're actually... If you get local honey, it's going to be better for your immune system. And the reason that this is that bees are making honey from the pollen that is in the area. So the closer the bees are to you, the closer the allergens like that you're getting from the pollen. So you're getting a little bit of exposure actually each time you have honey to the pollen that has been used to make it. So if you want to be less allergic to pollen, have honey from a bee that lives close by, right? It's pretty cool. One of those things that, you know, it makes sense after you think about it. You're like, oh yeah, I can see that. But you might not think about it otherwise. Just be like, oh, well, that local honey's so expensive. No, that local honey is exactly what you need in your life. Speaking of exactly what I need in my life, I do not need that little piece on that garlic. There we go. Sorry, that part was ugly. I don't need to throw out the whole thing if it's ugly. Just that bit was fine. All right, some Jamaican jerk rub. So we got all the ingredients in the propolis here. Just chuck them together. Make yourself a lovely little sauce. I'm a big fan of homemade sauces because I find a lot of ingredients that are in store-bought sauces are quite terrible. So I like being able to choose to make my own, right? Then I decide what goes in it and what doesn't go in it. Not only to make it allergen friendly, but also just to make it something that I'm okay with feeding my family. There we go. It's an interesting assortment of ingredients, but it's actually a really good flavor. So I hope you like it. Okay. So, oh, actually, I'm throwing salt and pepper in there. Like I said, salt. Salt is my jam. Okay. Now, this is just like the tiniest little bit of prep, but it's the tiny little bits of prep that add up and end up making a big difference. So I'm literally just throwing together salt and pepper and tapioca starch for the cashew chicken. And this is just so that I can just dump it. I can just look for the container and I can just dump it and just make it easy. Because some things in life should just be easy. That's what we're working for. So level 2 is really like a whole bunch of like random optional extras, I would call them. Like, it's stuff that a lot of these things you could do as shortcuts, right? Like you could be buying sliced cheese instead of slicing your own cheese, that type of deal. But throw it in there as a step just because. But if you were going to choose 2 steps that you definitely wanted to do, it would be 1 and 3, because you can do 1 while 3 is doing itself. Okay, for the most part, that's my advice. Okay, I'm gonna fluff this. We don't want sad rice. We don't want sad rice. We want fluffy rice. Maybe yours smells delightfully of coconut right now. I wish I could have made coconut, but you know what? My kids they're purists, and they love their rice, and they love their rice. Very particular about it. Tried giving them like pre-made rice in little cups when we were camping. It was a no-go. Like, yeah, this doesn't taste right. I thought, well, you know what? For all that they eat rice, it probably doesn't taste quite the same. So I could see where they were coming from, but at the same time, I was like, well, dang, can't you give me like a shortcut some days? My kids are spoiled, man. They're spoiled. All right, gonna make the sauce for the cashew chicken. Once again, just so that it's a dump and go. I'm sure you could find yourself a sauce that you could throw into this if you don't feel like doing this. I'm sure you could. But it's also not too hard to make it yourself. So do what you will. It is, I find it so much easier if you do plan on making sauces to make them in advance if you can, because it is just so much more satisfying when you're putting this together at night, just to go dump, 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 and then go on your way. It is just, comes together effortlessly. Like, instead of having time to table results, I should really have, for the nights that you have stuff prepped, like minutes of effort, that it wouldn't include the cook time. And then it would literally be like 37 seconds of effort, you know, that sort of thing. Go. All of the things in there for our cashew chicken. I'm tempted to throw that other half of the lime in there because I just don't think I'm going to use it otherwise. So I'm gonna chuck it in there. Citrus is never a bad thing. There we go. I just didn't want to waste it. And I got the bonus of being able to smell fresh squeezed lime again. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to slice up some cheese directly in front of my face. Would you imagine that? I actually have a knife that's my favorite for cutting cheese. Sorry, I'm apparently 5. My favorite knife for cutting cheese, it's this coated tomato knife, and I find it just goes through cheese like butter. I'm pretty sure my sandwiches are actually going to be served like with all of the ingredients separate, because that's just the stage my kids are at now. They aren't big on having things all together. It's gonna be separate. Like cashew chicken, that can be all together. Sandwich ingredients, they're all gonna be separate. I don't quite get it yet, but seems to be a thing. As long as they're still eating the things and they're eating healthy things, I try not to worry about it if they just want it all like piecemeal, because it doesn't take me any extra effort. It actually takes me less effort just to throw it on a plate like that, so I'm okay with it. So we got a couple of optional extras here. If you wanted to slice up some red onion to go on your sandwiches, if you wanted to cook bacon to go on your sandwiches, if you wanted to do something like that, you certainly could. You could do that right now. You could prep that. You can make yourself a honey mustard sauce to go on your sandwich if you'd like to, or you can buy a honey mustard sauce. I've got a recipe in there for you just in case you choose to use it. Other than that, the very last thing that I'm going to do, because it's always the very, very, very last thing that is going to happen, is I'm going to slice up some chicken. So if you are paleo, then you might want to slice up extra chicken yourself right now. You might want to slice up extra chicken for the Jamaican jerk bowls if you just don't like beans, or maybe you have IBS and don't enjoy having beans, then you might want to cut up some extra chicken right now to go for the Caribbean rice bowls as well. Or, you know, you could do some other kind of something. You could also do extra eggs if you wanted to. Skip the beans, but beans are one of those weird ones, gluten-free too. Like, they're one of those ingredients that can actually be kind of high risk for cross-contamination. So for beans, I try, if at all possible, to find ones that are marked gluten-free. And I do find ones that are marked gluten-free at Costco. But yeah, beans are one of those ones. I guess like lentils are at higher risk of cross-contamination than beans. It all depends on the type of bean. It just becomes, it's one of those ingredients that just becomes complicated sometimes. So if it's complicated for you, skip it, change it, replace it with something else. Chicken is always here for us. No. But I feel like if you wanted to, if you were gonna make bacon to go on your sandwiches, you could do extra boiled eggs and you could do bacon in the Caribbean rice bowl to use up some of that package of bacon. Like, that to me sounds delicious. Yeah, I might just do that. And I'm not always paleo. Because my body is kind of a little weird. I'm not always paleo, but I'm for the most part paleo. I will cheat here and there with having stuff that is strictly gluten-free but still has greens in it. And I'll have like a little bit, because for me it's a lifestyle more so than anything else. But I do find if I eat too much green, then I can feel my body's just inflammatory response, and it's not fun. So I try to skip it where I can. But I'm not super strict, because you can't be super strict with things like that your whole life, it doesn't feel like. But I mean, if you have to, then you do. Like gluten, obviously I gotta be strict on it. Okay, there we we go. Got that done. Guys, we have everything ready to go. We're just gonna throw some things in the fridge and then easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I hope you guys have a delicious week. I hope this helps you. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.